Welcome back to episode 51 of the ATD Baseball Podcast. Full house today. It's week one of the MLB offseason, fully underway. We've already got moves. The GM meetings in Phoenix are going on right now. But before we get into that, boys, how are we doing today?
I'm doing pretty good. Had a nice little warm day here in PA. I like that today. It was not a typical low 40s. I like that. But yeah, I'm ready for some nice signings. Hopefully for the Phillies coming up here. And luckily, I don't have to worry about any manager drama for me. I got my guy and Rob Thompson. I feel good about him. So.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Still. Better than you guys both feel about your manager, probably.
That's fair.
Yeah. Kyle?
Or my whole damn team, to be honest with
Well.
you. Yeah, you know, fellas, I wish I could say that I was doing better. I really could. You know, Brian Cashman just loves to ruin our spirits in this off season. You know, we finally were getting over 2023, and then he decided to make some nice comments to really instill the confidence in the Yankee fan base. But yeah, other than that, not too bad.
So, we've got things to talk about today. Like Matt, you just mentioned it. We got managers moving all over the place. We got teams that are still looking for managers. I know we just mentioned him off camera, but it is Shohei Ohtani. Free agency time. I'm going to say it in a nicer way. Not like glazing him or anything like that.
You thinking of somebody in particular?
I am. His initials are BV. His brother's a professional baseball player too. So.
In case you couldn't.
He has a hot wife too.
That helped. Oh.
The brother of this starting pitcher. So Craig Counsell. There is no loyalty in the NL Central anymore. It started last year when Wilson Contreras left Chicago to go to the Cardinals. Player to manager, I know it's not apples to apples, but you get the point. He is now the manager of the Cubs, and you got to feel for David Ross. Got fired on his day off. After I think the GM said that he was safe, his job was safe, and then 1 minute later you're out the door, and I feel bad for the dude, but I got my thoughts, but I want to hear what you guys got to think or have to say.
I mean, when the news came out that today was, Monday, was the day that Craig Counsell was going to be looking to sign with another team or to take the job, to take his talents to another team, and it was like, okay, I'm thinking this was before Mendoza signed. I was thinking Mets probably. It seemed likely. They just brought the former Brewers general manager over to the front office. Seemed like a nice little fit for him to reunite there. Mets want another high-end guy they're willing to pay. Seemed like it made sense. At the least, you thought, okay, I don't know, a team that has a opening right now? And then Ken Rosenthal goes out and says, no, he's looking to join a team that already has a manager. And then you're thinking, well, the Yankees aren't going to get rid of Boone, are they? Probably not. And then you're thinking, who else with a manager would be looking to get rid of their current manager? And it's like, well, these bad teams, like, I guess the Cardinals didn't fire Ali Marmol, so could it be the Cardinals? But it's like, in division, no, probably not. And then we get the bomb dropped on us that he's going to the in-division rivals, the Cubs. And you're like, well, I didn't think David Ross was the issue necessarily. I mean, now I'm not plugged into all of his reliever choices late in the season or even in the regular season. I'm not tuned into who he's substituting in and out off his bench. But in general, it's not like there was a lot of backlash from Cubs fans, it felt like, that he was a terrible manager. So this sort of came out of left field for me. And you, like you said, you do feel for David Ross, because this is a team that he's kind of always going to be connected with in time, just obviously with the World Series win, and then eventually coming back a couple years later to manage the team. But Cubs seem to not really care about that. They went out, they wanted to get their guy, and I guess they got him now. Signed him to a nice little lucrative deal for Counsell, like double what he made during his playing days. In case you didn't know, he played for the Brewers for pretty much his whole 8 or 9 year career or something like that, I think it was. So
Their fans don't want to hear that today.
Well, they didn't, but that's all right. He
Fans
made
don't
a
wanna hear
nice
that
little
today.
sum there in Chicago, and I guess if you think that's going to be the difference for the Cubs this year, personally, I'm not a big manager guy, but I guess maybe people who have a bad manager, like maybe Aaron Boone, some people would say, might have a different take on this. So, Kyle, I want to hear what you have to say.
Yeah, no, I mean, I think it was a smart move, I guess. I mean, Counsell is regarded as one of the best managers in the game.
Are we sure about that?
I mean, I would say so. I think I would. I think his baseball mind is up there. I think he's done a lot for this Brewers team. But at the same time, 5 years, $40 million for a manager, it seems a little steep. But the one takeaway that I have from all of this is I feel like this Cubs team is ready to take the next step. I think they're going to be hearing a lot of, you're going to hear that team in a lot of rumors this offseason.
Shohei Ohtani, according to former referenced BV in the show.
To be honest with you, I wouldn't be shocked if you at least hear their name. I don't have him going there, but I will say that if I hear the Cubs are seriously interested or at least expressing interest, I would not be shocked at all. And I mean, I kind of hope it. I kind of hope that the Cubs are, contenders for some of these guys. I really do. I mean, the first name that comes to mind is Cody Bellinger. You're going to want to try to secure him up after the year that he just had. I mean, I guess overall good move. But like you guys said, I'm going to reiterate that here is David Ross, man. I mean, that sucks. That's tough. That is a very kind of blindsided. But at the same time, I don't think he's done. I think he's going to latch on elsewhere, whether that be a coaching job, whether that be an actual manager, whatever it is. I wouldn't be shocked to hear that he's signing elsewhere for sure.
If I'm a manager of another team, I would be terrified. Because it's like the GM and the front office tells me my job is secure, my job is safe, we want you here for the long run. And then the second you hear rumors about a manager like Craig Counsell, well, maybe your job's not so secure. We want to talk. So if you can hire a manager while you still have one employed, I'd be terrified. I'd be scared for some of these teams that are in the middle of they need to take that next step of contention. But I mean, it does make sense for the Cubs because and Kyle hit it right on the head. It's like they're taking this next step. They're showing you that the Cubs are gonna go pretty much all in this offseason. They got really close of making the postseason in 2023. They missed it out on the final week of the season. Another collapse. And if they felt that Craig Counsell and they thought he was available, why not? Go get him. Different parallels, but this is it's not apples to apples again, but it's very similar going to the college football world, how Lincoln Riley left Oklahoma for USC. It's different, but there's some similarities there, but I'd be terrified. Dave Roberts, I'm looking right at you.
Well, there's definitely some managers though that have, even though, I guess the words of your bosses may be a little bit less meaningful now, but some teams definitely seem like they don't have any interest in moving off of their managers. Again, I am making a direct reference to Aaron Boone.
Thanks,
and
Matt.
The Dodgers,
Rub it in there.
Exactly. The Dodgers also don't seem to be too much in a hurry to get rid of Dave Roberts or anything, but there's some teams that I thought maybe should have made a bigger push for Craig Counsell, but again, you look at a lot of these teams. Yes, Mets maybe, and we can get into that because they hired one of Kyle's former bench coaches, I believe he was there in New York. Yeah. So, I'm not too familiar with him because a lot of these guys, if they're not former managers or even notable former players, no offense, but a lot of us have not heard of you guys, just to be real. So, Kyle's at least a little familiar with him. So, the Mets' new manager, Kyle, your old pal.
Yeah, so Carlos Mendoza has been with the Yankees since 2009. He's worked his way up to bench coach. About 2 years ago, that's when the rumblings started happening that he might get a managerial job. As a Yankee fan, I think he deserves it. I think he's a damn good bench coach. And I heard reports that he's the one who was playing bad cop in the Yankees locker room because when things needed to be said, Boone wasn't the one who did it. It was Mendoza. So, I mean, that doesn't shock me at all whatsoever. But no, I'm happy for Mendoza. I think he's a great baseball mind. He's been in the game for a very long time. But you're in New York. Just because you're over on the other side doesn't mean you're still not going to feel the heat. Because guess what? You're going to. And I've already seen it. I've already looked at every single article, comments on Mets pages, on regular baseball pages, whatever it is, are calling this already a bust. The Mets screwed up again. Mets gonna Met, blah, blah, blah. Because guess what? Counsell was your guy. You know, I mean, I'm not going to sit here and say that Carlos Mendoza is going to be a better manager than Craig Counsell. That's just not going to happen. But I do think he deserves a shot at a managerial job. Was the Mets the right place? I don't know. That's the only thing that worries me a little bit. This kind of has the writing of Luis Rojas all over it. That's kind of the thing I'm getting from it. But no, I mean, like I mean, just to sum it up, I think he's a great baseball mind. I'm glad that he got the opportunity, and I think Mets fans need to give him a shot before jumping the gun and saying he's gonna, be a terrible manager. I think he's gonna do all right. I really do. I like Mendoza. I always have.
I'll say real quick, you fired Buck Showalter, and I understand you have a bad season. Somebody's got to take the blame for it. But sometimes, believe it or not, it might not be the manager's fault. Just throwing it out there. Yeah, shocker. In some cases, it will be. Joe Girardi with the Phillies. I think there might have been something there that, hey, we made the right decision to fire him. But there's also cases where you get knocked out of the playoffs early or you totally miss the playoffs like the Mets did. I'm not 100% sure it's the manager's fault. Mm-mm. But somebody's got to take the blame. The only other thing that sort of makes sense with that is when there's a change in management like GM, then a lot of times you will see a change in managers too if the franchise isn't too cheap to eat the money and pay a whole new manager. But again, I don't necessarily agree with the moving off of Buck Showalter in the first place.
Agreed.
But that's just my opinion. So, Melo, you look like you were going to say something.
2 years ago, and you guys hit it right on the head. 2 years ago, Buck Showalter was looked at as the best managerial hire you could have had. And then not even 2 years later, he's out of a job and looking for work again. It's a hit or miss with some of these managers. And yeah, I think they did move off of him quickly, but also too, if you know that the Mets are not going to be competitive for the next couple years, does Buck Showalter at his age really want to be around that? At his age?
That's true.
Now, I hear rumors that he's interested maybe in the Angel job. I don't think that's great either, but San Diego, maybe. I don't know. But if you know the Mets are going to be bad for a couple years, or not horrible, but like, you know, not a great team, like if you're Buck Showalter, why would you want to hang around that?
True. I guess that's one place that the case could be made. He doesn't want to be part of a rebuild, understandably so. But like you said, we said about other opening spots, the Angels, the Padres still have an opening, the Astros still have an opening, and of course now the Brewers have an opening for manager. With some of the names out there yet, I mean, there's a billion names that there could be, but a lot of the rumored names, Benji Gill, who was Team Mexico's manager in the World Baseball Classic, I believe he's gotten a meeting with the Padres at this point. I've heard Joe Madden's name floating around. I've heard Buck Showalter, like, imagine he comes back with the mohawk. He's like, hey, this is what I was doing for you guys, but you didn't let me finish it. No. Who else has been rumored out there?
It's not crazy big, but after managing Team USA, Mark DeRosa's name has been thrown out there too because, well, he wants to manage a big league team, and I could see a team like that giving him a shot. Why not?
Who else? Who else was thrown out there as a candidate? If you remember,
Roberts.
Brad Ausmus not that long ago was manager of the Angels and the Tigers. Gabe Kapler is still
Tony La Russa.
available. Yeah, the White Sox
Ozzie
probably
Guillen.
bring him back.
Ozzie.
Yeah, there's a couple guys that are still available, but I think for some of these teams, the Padres' job is a little different than like the Angels' job. You're looking for an adult to be in the room for the Padres' job at this point, and they really thought they had that with Bob Melvin, but again, they had to find somebody to blame, and the manager's going to take the brunt of that blame a lot of times, and I feel like that was sort of the case again there with the Padres. But Angels, you might need somebody there who's willing to not be very good.
Why would you want the Padre job? You got to deal with 4 divas in that clubhouse. And number 2, there's no guaranteed I'm going to get my check at the end of the month. That was on a tee.
That was good.
Thank you. Just popped it in my head. I was like, I have to say this.
That was good. That was good.
Thank you.
I think the Angels' job, if you had to rank the 4 open spots, I think Astros still has to be number 1.
I'm surprised nobody's jumped on that already.
Yeah. Brewers Padres is close. I think probably the Brewers, less pressure, I'd say, as the Brewers manager than Padres, and then I think Angels is the least desirable. But I mean, hey, if you trade Mike Trout, you get a quicker turnaround. I mean, you might be looking at a better team shorter here, but
I mean, the Padres might look a lot different next year too. I
Very
mean,
possible.
they're probably going to lose Snell and Hader to free agency. Try to get under the luxury tax. Maybe they trade Juan Soto this winter. Who knows? I probably not going to happen, but who knows? You know, I've heard Bogarts maybe, but I don't see that happening either. Yeah, you're crossing your fingers. Hey, you take it. You want it, go for it, please. Please get him out of here. But Padres might look different. And if there's only Tatis and Machado next year, hey, I can deal with that. I'll take 2 divas instead of 4.
yeah, it's going to be interesting to see how that shakes out. With managers, like, we're not deep diving into manager style or anything like that, so it's all sort of speculation of how good they'll be, and even when you're judging how good of a manager they are, that's all kind of gray anyway, because what you think is a good decision might not be what they think, and some of the times it's not even their decision to make, it's the front office. They're just a character who has to go out on the field and point to the bullpen. And
Robot.
Exactly. But it'll be interesting to see how it shakes out. Like I said, we are diving into free agency time, though. So we put our first post out for free agency predictions, and by the time this episode comes out, we will probably have our second one debuting a little bit later. So if you're just listening to this and you haven't seen it yet, you can probably go check it out by now. But Shohei Ohtani is going to be featured on that second one here, and rumors are heating up. Melo, I don't know. Momentum might be swinging away from that area, swinging out east a little more here. Kyle doesn't want to hear that, and Melo
As
doesn't
long
want
as
to
it's
hear
not
that.
going up a little north, that's all I care about.
Well, that's the only place I think it's swinging. I don't see any other East Coast team signing Shohei.
Listen, I don't give a shit who it is, but I swear to God, if it's Boston, that's all I'm saying.
I've heard the Texas Rangers too.
Hey, have him. I don't care. As long as it's not Boston.
He wants to go somewhere that wins, especially in the postseason. So,
Why did you go to
Okay.
Boston, then?
Yeah.
wow,
Come
Why
on.
would he want to go to Seattle? Why would he want to go
That's
to the
true.
Giants? Giant fans are still hanging on that championship they won 10 years ago. They haven't done much since. Why would you want to go there?
2021 fluke season.
Yes. Just right here. That's all you got to do. Ohtani, don't make this
Short
difficult.
drive.
Just sign with the Dodgers and just, yeah, come on. Short drive. Don't make it hard on yourself. Just, you can have it made here in Los Angeles. The real Los Angeles, not that Anaheim crap
The
over there.
real Los Angeles.
Yes. Can have it made.
I don't know. He doesn't want to. He doesn't want to lose in the postseason, though.
But would you rather lose in the postseason or not make it at all?
Not make it at all. Listen, I told you guys at the beginning of this postseason. Hey, I'm sitting pretty over here. I'm enjoying some good postseason baseball. I don't need to deal with the stress of getting swept by the Astros again. I mean, I don't know.
True.
Maybe it's different as a player. I don't know. As a fan, that's my take on it.
Going to the other free agents that we mentioned in the first one, people called me an idiot for saying JD Martinez to the Angels. I think that makes perfect sense. It's like if you miss out on Shohei Ohtani, you got to fill that spot out. And typical Angels will sign somebody who performed well somewhere else. I thought that made perfect sense. Apparently not.
It does. Yeah, no, I agree with you. I think it does make sense. Exactly. Signing an old guy who performed well for somebody else is literally the tail of the tape for the Angels in free agency. I mean, look at Tyler
And you
Anderson.
need a DH.
Just last year. I mean, Melo was singing his praises during the regular season, but he knew that wasn't going to carry over probably into next year, and it obviously did not.
No.
So it does seem like an Angels move, but JD, I feel like JD does want to compete, though. He doesn't want to be on a crappy team. I feel like he's not a bag chaser. But, again, I never talked to the guy in my life, so what do I know?
We'll bring him back on a team-friendly deal. There's a reason why we declined. We didn't want to give him the $20 million because we need that money. We need all of it for Ohtani. You can come back for 10 or 13. Can't do 20 though.
Ohtani contract prediction, Melo?
12 years is a lot. That's a lot of years. And you're banking on that you cash
It
in
is.
within those first 5. You're asking a lot in that first 5 years. But if you want Otani, I think you're going to have to do it. So I think it's going to be 12,575, something like that.
Okay, under the 600 mark.
Well, he's not.
I mean, I
much.
don't think he gets it. Yeah, exactly. That's the only reason. If he came out of 2023 healthy, I think he easily could have cracked 700 or 600. That's fine.
Exactly.
Bring her down a little bit, but yeah, I'm intrigued to see how it goes and when we actually start hearing real rumors. Because at this point, obviously, it's all sort of hearsay. It's not really rumors, but maybe once it's time for the winter meetings down there in Nashville, we'll start hearing some real rumors. And Melo will be first on it. He'll be beating Bob Nightingale to the old Twitter.
I'm gonna be asking all these reporters, like, hey, what's going on with Otani? Is he a Dodger yet? I need to know. And if you find out, let me know. I'll give him my phone number and everything. You call me or text me immediately when you know something, because I want to know.
That's right.
I
We
need
are
to
going
know
to be
these
hunting for
things.
sources. We're going to be hunting for sources when we're down there. So
Yeah, two things are gonna happen when we get over there. Number one, I'm gonna get behind MLB Network camera again, and number two, when Jeff Passan is doing his hit on ESPN, I will be behind him too. Those are the two things I can guarantee.
And he's already promised to punch the iPad out of Andrew Friedman and Dave Roberts-Sands if they're both there. So.
Yes, and if there's a conference room, I'm gonna need to take them both, and we're gonna have a little discussion.
We can't get into what Kyle would like to say / do to the Yankees and Brian Cashman, strictly because that type of content's not allowed to be heard across Spotify as a whole. It's just considered too violent and just too much. So we'll have to, if you want to know, send Kyle a DM and I'm sure he'll respond to it. But
oh yeah.
You should go onto the Yes Network when we're over there and say exactly what you feel about this Yankee franchise. I'm sure they'll love it. Because they're not, they're very, everything's sunshine and rainbows with the Yankees. They'll never criticize anything about that franchise on that network.
Never. Well, that's who pays their salary. I mean, listen, that's definitely not a place where you want to go for Yankee news, just because, like you said, Melo, they got a bunch of puppets in there, just like they do down in the dugout. It's a whole different. I swear, it's like a cult around there. Can't say anything.
Jack Curry.
Ain't that the truth? Jack Curry and Brian Houck are the only two I can trust from that damn franchise. Oh boy. Oh, my Yankees. Gotta love them.
no comments on Brian Cashman's comments though.
Oh, I mean, we can get into that. I mean, we're gonna be here for a little bit, but
well, go ahead. We have time.
All right.
I'll see you tomorrow, guys.
Try to keep it as PG as possible. So obviously, Hal Steinbrenner came on and spoke with the media today. Pretty much summed it up. I'll give you his exact word-for-word quote here. It was awful. We accomplished nothing. Okay? So finally, I was at work when I was reading this, and I was thinking to myself, you know what? Finally, this is what I want to hear. I want a fire to get lit under this guy's ass and, switch some things going on. So that was at 12 p.m., okay? Just 5 hours later, Mr. Egghead gets on the Zoom call and decides to say, I'm going to not say word for word, but he said, I think we're pretty effing good personally. So let me tell you something. In the last 5 hours, how the hell did the Yankees go from accomplishing nothing, having a terrible team, needing a lot of help, to, oh, we're pretty good. We got it. We're fine. That's where the disconnect is, and that's what I don't understand about this franchise. How can your owner say that you were terrible all year long, and then you got your wonderful GM who likes to say that we're pretty effing good. Let me tell you. He then went on to praise the analytics department. Kind of try to save his own ass with the Joey Gallo and Sonny Gray trade. Those comments were whatever. Yeah, no, it's not a good look. And, I thought to myself today that I wasn't going to let anything bother me because my expectations are down here all the way, right? I'm already over 2023. I'm looking forward to spring training and winter meetings and everything else going on. I'm hearing the Soto rumors. I'm buying into them. Come on now. I'm having a good time. See? Yeah, I'm having a good time over here. And Brian Cashman decides to get on, take those expectations, and shove them way down in the damn ground. So, yeah. That's pretty much just summed up. Not great. I'm not feeling too good. He also went on to blame that a lot of the Yankees' issues went from health concerns. But I don't know how much I'm also banking on a healthy Giancarlo Stanton, a healthy DJ LeMahieu, Carlos Rodon. I mean, these are all contracts that you gave out. So you're just trying to save your own ass by saying, oh, it's just injuries, whatever it is. Oh, Anthony Rizzo, by the way, I forgot to mention him. But when your third best hitter in your team is an aging Anthony Rizzo, who that's your protector for Aaron Judge in the 3-hole, not good. Not good. And not to mention that's the same aging first baseman that you decided to play on concussion protocol. So good job. But hey, our training staff's good. We got a lot of good guys in there. Analytics department, that's fine. Training staff, that's fine. Medical staff, that's fine. Everything's fine, right? According to Brian Cashman, it is. So, like I said, he didn't instill much confidence in the fan base. Should have saw Twitter, dude. If any of you guys, viewers, Matt, Melo, whoever the hell wants to get a good laugh, go on Yankees Twitter right now. Just go look. Just type in Brian Cashman. You're going to get a damn good laugh, let me tell you.
You know why Brian Cashman said that we're pretty effing good? Because before he hopped on that Zoom meeting, he took this exact Yankee team and simulated the season on MLB The Show, and they won 96 games. And they were like, hey, we're pretty effing good. If we run this back next year, we're going to be pretty damn good.
Well, considering the fact that Carlos Rodon still has a 93 overall in MLB The Show, Stanton's got an 80, LeMahieu's up there with an 82, something like that. I mean, yeah, maybe that's why.
There's a 99 Judge going around, too, that I have.
Well, him and Cole are the only two ratings that actually make sense on that damn team.
Melo failed to mention Brian Cashman switched injuries off before simulating the season. So that would be the reason why the Yankees.
He also put it on rookie mode too.
So yeah,
he traded Shohei Ohtani to the Yankees.
I think we all do that. Come on now, I think we all do that. At the end of the day, though, it's just kind of really shitty feeling from what you're getting from your team. A lot of question marks, dude. So many question marks, and it's not a good feeling when your GM thinks you're already good. He said the only thing that they really want to do is get a little bit younger, which I agree with 100%. And they want to bunt more. They want to bump more. So, Matt and Melo, I'd like either of you guys to take the floor at the moment and tell me who in the hell is bunting on this team. Please, let me know, because I'm out of options.
Aaron Judge, the same guy who hit 62 home runs the last time he was healthy. That's who's going to be bunting on your team.
Well, I mean, can't you see it now? The 2024 headline is Aaron Judge breaks single-season sacrifice bunt record. In another record-breaking year where he takes home AL MVP again, all because of a simple mindset change. I mean, insert that Drake meme, Drake and Future meme, Brian Cashman telling him the Yankees they need to bunt more.
Hell yeah.
Oh, yeah.
That's it. Dude, if we bump more, I feel like we might win the World Series. I think that's what it comes down to.
Exactly.
We're going to have a walk-off bunt in Game 7 of the World Series. That's what's going to happen.
Nobody's going to expect it, too.
mean, yeah, we all saw the Rangers. They bunted a ton on their way to winning the World Series this year.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, how do you think Corey Seager tied the game in Game 1? Put down a bunt. How do you think Adolis Garcia walked it off in Game 1? Walk-off bunt.
Exactly.
Crazy times, man. Crazy times.
Yeah. It's fun to make fun of the Yankees if you're not a Yankees fan. Even if you are a Yankees fan, you can make fun of them too.
Listen, I don't want anybody saying anything because guess what? I didn't get to experience the glory days. I'm a fan who is too young to experience the 90s dynasty, the 90s absolute dream teams with Derek Jeter, Joe Torre, all those guys. I'm sorry, I am one of those Yankee fans who did not get to live in those glory days. Last time I saw this team win anything was when I was 9 years old. So for everybody saying, oh, the Yankees deserve it, oh, they had their fun, guess what? I didn't have my fun, okay? The only thing I have is YouTube videos to go back on, all right? That's all I get. So listen, just remember that it's not just the older Yankee fans that you're talking to. It's the younger ones too, where we didn't get to experience all that. So.
Last time I checked, I still don't feel bad for Yankees fans.
Nah, it's whatever. 09, Matt. 09.
Oh, okay. Come on. That was unnecessary, but
Yeah, but guess what? I'm a Yankee fan, so I'm allowed.
yeah. All right, yeah, we got to end on that note. I mean, there's no coming back for me for the rest of the podcast. I can't come back from that that's the ultimate comeback is scoreboard.
Damn right. 100%. Listen,
Last time I
Matt,
checked.
you're always put into a corner here. You got a Dodger and a Yankee fan with you. I mean, that's kind of. Why the hell did you sign up for this?
Well, I can always, in the last 2 years, go back on old reliable is how many times have you made it to the championship series? I mean, Kyle has one last year, but he has as many wins as the Oakland A's did last year in the ALCS. So
that is true. That is true.
Yes.
I
can always recall upon that, making a couple trips to the championship series here, but
that's all right.
Not exactly worth anything. But whatever.
Okay, at least you saved yourself.
I think that'll do it for episode 51 here. Yeah, looking forward to all the hopefully moves. Who knows when we'll see the first big-ish signing, trade, whatever you want to say.
Mark Canna didn't do it for you?
Not really, because I forgot it happened. So, yeah, not really. We'll be sure to bring you our thoughts and whatnot on those. So make sure you like, subscribe, review if you're listening on Spotify or Apple Podcasts. Appreciate that. Helps us out a lot. And yeah, we will see you next week for episode 52.
Adios.